will call Ma'am Gemma Villegas for her opening prayer.
Okay, please bow your head, close your eyes, and feel the presence of the Lord. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful day that you have given us. We are glad because finally we'll be able to start the 3-day webinar, ICT webinar for our EmTech students and facilitated by EmTech Teachers of CamHi. As we start and go along with our session, may we ask for your guidance that the students participants will be able to learn and share something new
Anak,
from
kung mo
this
di kinahanglan,
webinar
yang
and that
YouTube.
is more
Pa-on mo kayo, sir.
beneficial for living as we consider them as future ICT leaders of our society. And we also ask for your guidance that the speaker will be able to impart his knowledge and expertise on the topic that is assigned to him. We also pray that all the teachers or persons involved in this webinar may actively participate and perform their tasks as all throughout the session. And we also pray for uninterrupted internet connectivity all throughout the session. This we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Gemma. Next will be the national anthem will be played by audio video. Sir Chris?
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pa sisingil. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw, may dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng luwalhati pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Okay. Again, good afternoon everybody. Welcome sa development of online learning resources sa mga grade 12 student na taking up empowerment technology. So we have two speakers for today. One will be Sir Pacunsa and Sir Dumlao. And to introduce the first speaker, let's call in Sir Ronald Michoro to introduce our resource speaker.
Okay. Hello everyone and welcome to our session for today entitled Development of Online Learning Resources or Tools Using ICT. CamHi EmTech students. So this is day one. Okay? I'd like to introduce to you our speaker for today. He obtained his bachelor degree from University of Nueva Cáceres with the course of Bachelor of Science, major in entrepreneurship. A senior high school ABM teacher, 2011 winner in business plan competition, Ditay Kamsor, business plan awardee, a humble and responsible family man, a silent worker, an entrepreneur by heart and action, also a proficient in IT, or should I say IT expert. Let us all welcome our speaker for today, Sir Cristito Masagka Paconsa.
Hello guys, good afternoon to all of you. So welcome sa ating webinar ngayon. I hope that you are safe and ready to listen for this afternoon discussion. We have a very special topic and my topic is about the website. So remember that on your modules, meron doon mga instructions on how we can create a website and even the preparations of the creations of this website. Okay. Um, though our main topic is all about development of online learning resources, tools using ICT, and this website is one of the tools that we can use when it comes to information and communications technology. Okay, I will go directly with my topic for this afternoon. Okay, so my topic is about the website. I will be talking about is specifically on what we called the Wix, Wix.com. Okay, do you have any idea with this kind of website? If not, I may introduce it to you. So we use this website since the beginning of the senior high school, way back on 2016. So the first batch of the senior high school was in 2018, though in 2016 we already exercise using this since that this is part of the curriculum ng empowerment technology. And even from the media and information literacy subject, so na-introduce na pa konti-konti kung ano yung mga pwedeng maging content ninyo sa inyong website. So, nandiyan na yung about sa text, about sa graphics, and even the audio, the motion information, and the website or the multimedia alone. And included din yun yung manipulative media. So, wherein pwede nyo ilagay lahat yon sa inyong website. Okay. Since that my assignment is all about weeks, no. Since na ito rin yung ginagamit namin noon, so allow me to first introduce or explain the little history about weeks. So in the Google, no, sa internet, ito yung meaning that Wix.com is an Israeli software company providing cloud-based web development service. It allows users to create HTML5 websites and mobile sites through the use of online drag and drop tools. So, ibig sabihin, madali na lang siya. You don't need to code para makagawa lang ng website, only drag and drop. Okay. This is a company wherein they invite those individual or company na mas mapadali ang paggawa nila ng kanilang website para sa kanilang mga negosyo, para sa kanilang mga personal na interest, and so on and so forth. So, okay, may free silang ibinibigay, then meron naman silang premium wherein merong payment which is they allow all the features can be used kapag nagbayad ka sa kanila. Okay. Uh, let's start browsing the Wix website. So, if you type wix.com, okay, mag-sign in tayo. Okay. But before that, you have to create your own Gmail account. So I would suggest if you are working in a group, create your own group email address para at least lahat can access yung mga kagrupo ninyo if ever meron kayong groupmates. So sa inyong Google account or sa Gmail account. So say for example, I am logging on my personal account. So then makikita nyo dito ang mga websites na before na nagawa ko. Okay. So, before doing this, um, i-set up muna ninyo yung account niyo for the first time. Okay. Kung sa una, wala kayong makikita pa dyan na ganitong mga websites na. Pero kung meron na, much better. Ibig sabihin, alam nyo na kung paano i-navigate ito. Para doon sa mga hindi pa, ganito lang yan kadali. So, you can create your own folder para i-separate yung mga websites na ginawa ninyo. So, ibig sabihin, in one account, you can create multiple websites. Ano? So, remember that it is only free. Ibig sabihin, limited yung mga features na pwede mo mailagay. Pero masasabi nyo na maganda na rin yung websites ninyo. Okay. So, meron tayo ditong create new websites. If you want to create your new websites, just click that button. Okay. Then, you will be asked what kind of website should this be? Ano yung purpose ng inyong website? Sa business ba? Online store, music, designer, blog, and so on and so forth. So you will choose. If wala dyan sa category na yan, you can choose others if you want. So, halimbawa, I will choose this template or this design, which is the business. So, pupunta ka na dito, choose how you want to create your business, meron tayong tinatawag na ADI or ikaw mismo yung magde-design ng websites mo. Okay, itong sa free templates. So, ibig sabihin nitong sa ADI, mismo yung system ang maggagawa depende sa interest mo. There will be more questions when you click this start now under the week's ADI. So, kasi tatanungin para saan yung mga websites mo, ano yung possible na mga content, and so on and so forth. So, yun. Pero, hindi ka gaano makakapag-navigate or makakapag-edit ng iyong websites design. Okay. Pero pagdating naman dito sa create your own websites, so ito yung i-recommend namin is edit a template. Ayan. Papapiliin ka ng template, though bibigyan ka nila ng magandang template na, then pwede mo pang ma-edit halos lahat ng content dyan. Pero yung mga designs, at least meron ka ng sarili. Okay. So, let's say for example, let's choose a website. So, since na business yung pinili ko, hanap tayo ng example. Okay. Okay, sige. Ito. You can view or you can edit. So, when we click the edit button, ito na yung lalabas. Magre-reload siya para i-prepare yung template. Then, sa template na yon, even the text, the graphics, the motion pictures, or kung meron man videos dyan, pwede nyo pang mapalitan. Depende sa mga stock images na meron kayo o na-prepare. So, when you prepare this website, siguraduhin na naka-ready na yung mga templates na i-upload ninyo or mga content na i-upload ninyo, kagaya ng mga graphics. No, dapat nakapag-research na rin kayo or kung wala, at least nakakuha kayo ng sarili ninyong mga content na ilalagay. Okay. So, ito yung example. So, kung makikita ninyo, naka-ready na siya. So, ito yung preview. Pag click nyo yung preview, ito yung kapag click na yung link or yung URL ninyo o yung website mismo ninyong address, makikita na ito yung content niyo. Then, automatically, may function na rin yung mga link na nakalagay dyan. So, ganun kadali. Meron na nga example kaagad. So, ibig sabihin, makapadali yung trabaho ninyo. So, when it comes sa content, depende sa mapag-uusapan ng inyong subject teacher. So, they will discuss to you what will be the content of your website or depende kung ito ay gagawin by individual or by group. So, I guess it will be by group para mas mapadali. Pero when you work by group, see to it that you collaborate with each other. Hindi lang dapat yung isa ang nagtatrabaho nito, kundi lahat talaga dapat involved kasi this is part of the curriculum or the subject. So meaning, we expect that every one of you will learn about the subject or even this kind of project. Okay, let's go back to the editor. So I will give you some samples pero you can navigate it once you have your own account dito sa Wix. Practicein ninyo. Huwag kayong matakot na mag-try ng mga buttons dito. Trial and error for the first time. But for sure, you will learn how to create your own website using this free builder. Okay. So let's say, for example, you want to choose or you want to change this text. So all you have to do is double click. So you can now type there. So empowerment technology. So something like that. You can edit the size, even the font style. So make sure that you highlight that. Okay. So applying the principles that you have learned from media and information literacy. So remember that we have discussed from the previous subject about the principles of graphics and layouts. So kung naalala ninyo. So halimbawa yung kapag light ang background, dapat yung text is visible. So ibig sabihin light siya, hindi yung meron tayong tinatawag na contrast, okay? Proportion and so on and so forth. So alam na niyo yan. So if you want to change the image, pwede rin palitan siya. So if you want to change yung mga buttons dito, nandito rin yung menu. So, pwede nyo mapalitan siya, even ma-edit yung pangalan. So, pwedeng-pwede. So, I will not giving you the full details of how to create a website using this Wix, kasi meron naman tayong mapapanood sa YouTube. So this is just an introductory on how to create your own website using this um, Wix builder. Okay? So again, balikan natin yung home natin. So click natin ito para pumunta ka dito sa home. So if you want to change this, again, meron tayo ditong image color. So kung gusto niyo video, pwedeng ilagay. So everything there can be changed. So you can actually upload your own media kung gusto niyo yung personalize. So pwede. Okay? You can choose any tools nakalagay dito para ma-edit lang ang inyong website. Okay, ganun lang kadali. Again, we encourage you to try, to practice, in order for you to be familiarized with the tools and buttons here. Okay, then let me show you some examples that I've made before so that you can get some ideas on how to create a website. So, but before that, once na meron ka ng website na ginawa, bawa, don't forget to save. So, remember this. Once na you want to save this, make sure that you have an idea what will be the name of your website. Okay. Since that I've registered an email like this one, so this is my preference website. So, ang makikita ninyo is https slash column double slash csnhsmtech.wixsite.com. Parati siyang merong wixsite.com na extension domains just because this is owned by the Wixsite. Kung gusto niyo mawala yung wixsite.com na yung extension is bibili kayo. Ibig sabihin magbabayad kayo para mawala siya. Okay. So since that this is just a free, so palitan lang natin ito. Okay. My sample site. So yan, pwede yung gawin. Then save and continue. So later you can go back and re-edit that one. But if you want to publish it now with this website, ang gagawin natin is ipapublish mo siya. Once na ma-publish na siya, pwede mo na magamit ang specific website na ginawa mo or yung address. Okay. So, pwede mo na itong makopy. Okay. Meron siyang preview. Halimbawa, ito. So, tingnan ninyo. Ito na, my sample site. Ito na yung ginawa nating example. So, napalitan din natin yung view. So, punta tayo doon sa home para makita natin kung may changes ba from the one that we have edited kanina. Okay. So dito sa tab na to, which is what we call the page. So another page. So in website, remember na hindi lang siya isang page. Hindi ito static. We are working in the Web 2.0 wherein you and the user can interact. So bakit? Kasi meron dito mga buttons wherein they can contact you, they can click. So we're not talking about here Web 1.0 ah. Okay. So, eto, napalitan na natin. Okay? So, you can close this one since nag-add naman siya ng panibagong tab just to see the previous one. But eto na. Pwede niyo na itong i-copy paste then share it to other if you want them to see your website. Okay. Let's now proceed to the examples that I've made before. On my account, I have here a website. Okay, ito na yung ginawa namin ginawa ko noong 2016, first batch ng senior high school. Okay. I have here past output ng batch 2016-2017. Meron silang ginawa ng mga websites, video tutorial, and mga infographics that's include yung mga logos nila na ginawa as part of the subject or requirements sa subject. Okay. I put a disclaimer here since that we don't own everything here. So, kailangan meron disclaimer tayo. Okay. So, let me show you some example of the websites that made by the 11-1-2-3 last year. They are now 12 STEM 1 to 3, then 12 ABM 1 to 3 sa ngayong semester. Pero nung last year, since meron silang subject sa akin, I asked them to create a website. Yung content ng websites nila is based on the research topic para mas madali nilang magawa yung websites nila kasi meron na silang content. So same thing that I supposed for you to do para mas madali. If not, you can do some arrangements with your subject teacher kung ano ba talaga magiging content ng inyong website. Okay, let's see some examples. Sa UMS 1, ito yung mga samples nila. So, let's choose one website that they have made. So, this was made by the students. So, ito na yung kanilang websites. So, this is an example. Yan. Related ito sa subject nila or sa research paper nila. Okay. So every button here has a link. Okay, it will direct you to another page that they have designed for. So this is their infographic. So they have um, about them. Okay. So, yun. These are the owners of the website. You can contact them. Okay. You can, yan. You can participate, ibig sabihin Web 2.0. You can interact with the web design builder. So, okay. So, that's one example. Okay. Let's go back to um, another website. Let's look at another website. Okay. This is another website that they have made. Okay, based on their research. So, kung makikita ninyo, iba-iba yung designs nila, meaning that they did not have the same template na ginamit. Kaya napakagandang tingnan and i-appreciated din yung kanilang mga efforts na ginawa. We expect that from you as well. So, of course, hindi naman perfecto yung websites na ginagawa natin, but still we try and we understand about the content of the websites. So, remember that we apply those principles that we have learned from the previous discussions that we have. Okay. So, then they included also gallery para makita na nila or ng mga audience uh, those pictures na included on their research. Okay. Then let's see again another link on this website. Let's see these infographics that they have made. So I asked them to upload it on the Google Drive and send to me the link of their infographic. Okay, it's another content of of the website. Okay, so yan, so I can automatically access their uploaded photos on Google Drive since I have the link. So they shared it so that everybody can see uh, their work. Okay. Another thing is I asked my students to create a video tutorial. They uploaded naman yung mga video tutorial na yon sa kanilang uh, YouTube account. Then yung link ipinadala lang sa akin para ma-view ko and ma-check ko yung kanilang website. So see that effect, ano. Ang kagandahan nito sa Wix is they can give you an effect sa website niyo para mas magandang tingnan. So like this one, okay. So merong effects na siya. So you can also click yung buttons here para ma-check ninyo kung ano yung laman. Then to see what are the contents of that websites as well. Okay. So right. So let's see another website. So para makita ninyo kung ano pa. Um, let's see this gallery. Tingnan natin yung gallery. Okay. Right. So you can have this layout then. No, it is all free. Okay. At pwede pa kayong maglagay ng link if you want sa mga photos na yan na naka-upload. So pwedeng pwede kayong maglagay. Alright. So let's see another thing. Sa comment. So yun nga sabi ko sa inyo kanina, you can interact with a website builder or developer. Okay. So if you have any questions with regards to how to create a website using Wix, you will feel free to ask your subject teacher on empowerment technology, and for sure they will give you feedback or answers to those questions na meron kayo. And kami rin naman, other support members ng Empowerment Technologies subject, uh, pa, pwede rin kaming magsagot sa mga katanungan ninyo kung meron man. Okay, so just keep in mind that when you create a website, you have to apply all the design principles and elements that you have learned from your previous subject, which is yung empowerment technology or sorry, yung media and information literacy. Okay? So, yan lang guys ang aking i-discuss sa inyo ngayon. I hope you will find this very interesting when you create your website. And I hope then that you learn something here so that when you create a website, madali na lang sa inyong gawin. And please bear in mind then na nandito lang kami mga teacher ninyo just to support and to help you how to achieve your goal as well pagdating dito sa subject. Okay? So guys, thank you very much for your attendance for this afternoon. Okay. Again, my name is Sir Crisito M. Pacunza. You can call me Sir Chris. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Sir Chris, for your very interesting topic. Thank you very much, Sir Chris, for your very interesting topic. And for now, let us hear a short message from Ma'am Bobos, our senior high school student.
Thank you, Ma'am, Ma'am Jem, and good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, teachers and learners. How are you today? Kumusta po kita, gabos? I hope uh, okay kita, in good health, and still coping with our situation right now. But of course, sabi nga ni kayan, maski arog ka ni ang kabuktakan ta, sabi kayan, the show must go on. Congratulations to everyone who exerted their effort, especially the teachers who prepared this activity for the sake of our learners. I hope students, kung yaon man kamusain na kung sa harong or wherever kadakol ka mo manonood digdiyo sa activity ini, sayang kung si iba day nakakadango ka ning mga pigtaram ka sa tuyang speaker. But then again, hopefully I know na ini yung activity iniyo ginibo, pighandaan kan sa inyong mga teachers para mas makatabang sa indo tanganing sa pagpadagos indo sa indong pagklase, mapakinabangan nindo ining mga learnings na yaon igdi sa platform na ini, sa nangyayaring ini ngunya na hapon. And sana dai kita mag-give up, padagos lang, maski sabi nga ni laban sana, maski nadidipisilan kita sa satuyang kabugtakan, da isagabal ang pandemic para di kita magpadagos kang pagklase. Regardless kung ano man na platform kita nag-aadal, may it be modular or other distance learning modalities, still da kita mawara ning pag-asa. Continue uh, learning, relearning, unlearning para po yan sa Indugabos. So, yun man lang po yan. Good afternoon and thank you.
Thank you po, Ma'am May. Thank you po. So dahil hindi nakapag-opening kanina si Sir Marvin, sige, so ibigyan natin ng konting minutes si Sir Marvin para sa opening message niya na dapat kanina pa. Sir Marvin?
Yes. Okay na ba? Okay na po. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for this activity. Good afternoon to the students. Alam naman natin lahat na the technology, the information technology play a vital role in our daily lives actually. No? Sa ngayon, parang bahagi na ng ating buhay yung technology. No? Okay, so this event is a very good event kasi marami kayong matututunan at marami kayong pwedeng makuha sa activity ito. Congratulations to the proponent, to the sponsors, and hopefully this is time na mas maraming pang activity na maikandak ng mga webinars na para sa mga estudyante. With that, sabi nga ni Ma'am May, magpatuloy lang tayo. Alam natin mahirap ito, hindi madali ang modular, hindi madali ang online kasi nasanay tayo ng face-to-face. But then, natin, kailangan natin mag-adjust, no? Kailangan natin mag-adjust sa new normal. So, patuloy lang tayo, mag-aral lang tayo kasi ilang taon na lang, pag nag-college kayo, malapit na yung pangarap. No? So, magbibitiw. So, with that, thank you very much for this event and good afternoon. Maraming salamat.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Chris. Okay, our next speaker is a graduated BS in Computer Science, Master in Information Technology, a computer programmer, TBL Senior High School teacher, handled MIL and Empowerment Technology subjects, a NC holder of different level, computer programmer in C4, computer system servicing in C2, and trainers methodology level 1. So let us all welcome our speaker for today, Sir Emerson B. Dumlao.
Hello, good afternoon everyone, and to all the teachers that is around in this webinar and also the students that is watching, and to Mami, good afternoon. My name is Mr. Emerson B. Dumlao, teacher 2 of senior high school, and for this afternoon we'll be discussing Photoshop, basic editing and design. So let me start with my disclaimer. Mostly self-taught skills. I am an enthusiast and not a pro, and downloaded images are credited at the end of the video. Okay, so for our objectives for this afternoon's webinar, first we have to describe Photoshop as an image editing and designing app, navigate Photoshop working area, tools and palettes, and apply basic effects and design techniques. Okay, so let us first discuss what is Adobe Photoshop. So for those who are not familiar with Adobe Photoshop is actually a software extensively used for raster image editing, graphic design, and digital art. And let me give emphasis to one word on that definition. This is the raster. So when we say raster graphics editor are used to create and edit images and then save them to other formats. So ano ba yung raster sinasabi? So when we say raster, nakikita nyo dyan sa ating illustration, Raster are made up of pixels. Pixels are small boxes that made up your picture or image. Okay? And yung counterpart niya is vector. Yung vector naman is made of shapes, colors, and lines. So, Photoshop is more of the raster part of editing. Okay? And also, Adobe Photoshop is the de facto on industry standard, meaning siya yung gold line. Siya yung laging ginagamit na image editing software or pinaka-common na ginagamit. Okay? So, Photoshop is developed by Thomas and John Knoll in 1988. So, medyo matanda na rin tong software na to. And it is now owned by the Adobe Systems Incorporated. So, part of the Adobe suite. Okay? Kasi pag bumili ka, hindi mo siya or pwede mo siyang mabili na individually, pero normally may mga kasama siya na iba pang mga software such as nakalista sa baba, Acrobat Pro, Illustrator, InDesign, Premiere, Dreamweaver, Lightroom, etc. So they are also used in different purposes. May iba-iba silang mga purposes. Okay, so we have different versions of Photoshop. Nagsimula yan sa version 1 and the latest version is 2021. So by year na kasi yung versioning ngayon. Dati kasi 1, 2, 3, 4. And then CS stands for Creative Suite. Okay? And then CC stands for Creative Cloud. Ayan. So, ito naman yung iba-ibang mga opening parang intro ng Photoshop. So, every version has its different intro. Iba-iba din yung kanilang mga interfaces. Well, of course, iba-iba din yung mga kayang gawin ng Photoshop. In every version. Kasi may mga additional na mga capabilities na dinadagdag in every version. Okay? So, when you visit adobe.com, you'll see na ito yung makikita niyo dyan. Diyan mo makikita kung ano yung pinopromote ng Photoshop, and also diyan mo din makikita yung pricing ng Photoshop. So for those who want to avail or to buy Photoshop, ayan, andyan yung mga prices. Meron din prices for students. Ayan, so all apps 997. I am not promoting Photoshop. I am just giving you an insight kung ano yung cost nitong product na ito. Okay, so we also have our Photoshop system requirements. So makikita nyo dyan, we have the minimum requirements and we have the recommended requirements. So these are needed para maging smooth yung paggamit mo ng Photoshop. Hindi lagi, hindi siya loading, etc. So at most your RAM should be 8 gig, but the recommended is 16 gig. Okay, so tingnan nyo na lang yung mga nandiyan. Ayan. Now, let us start working with Photoshop. Kasi, binigyan lang tayo ng 1 hour to go discuss this one or lesser. So, working with Photoshop. Now, while working with Photoshop, I want you to remember 3 things. Three things with this acronym LTE. Hindi siya yung sa 4G LTE na ang ibig sabihin ay long-term evolution. This acronym stands for layers, tools, and effects. So, bakit po nilagay yung tatlong ito? Because these are the most basic and important na mga bagay pag gumagamit ka ng Photoshop. Layer, tools, and effects. So, let us start with layers. Ano ba yung tinatawag na layers? So, we define layers as the basic building blocks of Photoshop documents. Para ma-edit mo, para makapagpatong-patong ka ng iba-ibang elements into your Photoshop, you need layers. So, every element is one layer on your Photoshop. So, these are like sheets of stock acetate. If you are still familiar with acetate, parang clear sheets siya na may ilaw sa ilalim, tapos naka-project sa wall. Yung lumang klase ng projector natin. So, once na tumaan siya ng ilaw, yung mga bagay doon sa acetate is nagre-reflect doon. Okay? So, if you want na multiple yung makita ng tao, multiple parts ang ma-project sa wall, you'll use, of course, sheets of acetate. So, patong-patong mo, and every content of each acetate will be displayed. Pwede mong tanggalin yung isang acetate, meaning may mawawalang element doon sa nakaproject sa wall. Pag tinanggal mo lahat ng acetate, wala ka na makikita. So, the same way na gumagana yung layers. So, patong-patong lang ng mga layers, and kung ano yung nasa ibabaw, siya yung lagi makikita. Kung ano yung nasa ilalim, siya yung medyo nasa background. Okay? So, in Photoshop, we always work with layers. There is, kapag pig-flatten mo na, kapag pig-merge mo na lahat ng layers, that will be your picture mismo, your JPEG or GIF. Okay? So, kapag may edit ka pa, it should be in the form of layers. So, dapat maraming layers yan. And in Photoshop, you'll see layers in the so-called the layer palette. Okay? So, ano ba yung tinatawag na layer palette? So, layer palette is a floating pane that is consist of different options and properties of the layers on your canvas. So, meaning, andun siya sa right side actually ng Photoshop. Nakikita mo siya, and then pwede mo siyang i-move. The picture on the right, upper right corner of this slide, nakikita nyo yung layer palette mismo. Wherein, napakarami niyang parts. So, mamaya makikita natin yan. You have your layer filter, your opacity, your blend modes, fill opacity, the visibility of your layers, meaning you can hide or show your layer. Lock, meaning pwedeng hindi siya magalaw, hindi siya ma-move, hindi siya ma-edit. And so on and so forth. So, napakaraming parts. Now, let me show you kung ano yung nangyayari sa loob ng Photoshop. So, this is your Photoshop document, your Photoshop application. So, let me close. This will be your layer palette over here. Ito, yung nanditong parts sa right side of your window. Ito yung layer palette natin. So, as you can see, wala pang laman yung ating layer palette. Now, let us first open a canvas, a Photoshop document. So, you go to File, and then click New, and then you need to specify yung size ng iyong document. It can be in pixels, in inches, in centimeters. So, inches kung gumagawa ka ng tarpaulins, you do inches. Kung gumagawa ka ng image for your website, you do pixels. Now, let me say 1920 by 1080p. 1920 by 1080 is the so-called Full HD. Alam niyo yan kasi pa sa mga pelikula, ano nga ang resolution ng pelikula mo? 1080 or 720? So, the higher the resolution, the higher the quality of the video. Same way in Photoshop, the higher the or the larger the resolution, the better will be your image. Okay? So, create natin. Ayan. So, this white part is your so-called canvas. Ayan yung tinatawag nating canvas. Now, looking at our layers, meron siyang isang layer na background. As you can see, nakalock siya. So, meaning, yung background, hindi mo siya magagalaw. When you try to you drag your background, mag-warning siya ngayon. So, hindi siya pwedeng galawin. Now, how can you create new layer? Yung new layer is andito sa baba. Kung nakikita natin, sa bottom ng layer palette, we have plus sign. So, yan yung plus. It will create a new layer. So, as you can see, meron tayong layer 1. Say, for example, I'll create a square on layer 1. I'll fill it with red. Okay? Yan. So, this red square is actually your layer 1. Now, let us add another layer. Another square. I'll create another square. I'll fill it with a blue color. Ayan. Your second layer will be layer 2. Yung layer 2 na yan. And that would be your blue square. So, sabi ko kanina, when working with layers, kung ano yung nasa ibabaw, siya yung nag-show. Kung ano yung nasa ilalim, siya yung naka-hide. Okay? So, when I drag this blue square over the red square, mawawala si red. Why? Kasi nasa ibabaw si blue. Ano? So, nasa ilalim si red. So, you can also rearrange this layer order by dragging your layer above kung saan mo siya gustong paibabaw or saan mo siya gustong mag-overlap. Okay? So, pag pig-drag ko yung layer 1 over layer 2, magiging ganito na siya. Ano? So, layer 1 na yung nakikita natin while layer 2 is nasa ilalim na siya. Okay? So, that goes with all the layers on your canvas. Ito yung canvas natin. So, lahat ng objects na nandyan can be layers. So, say for example, I'll open a picture, an image. So, let me just look for my images. So, say for example, I'll take this one, open. Ayan. So, magbubukas siya ng tab. Ito yung ginawa natin kanina. Ito yung big drag natin. So, you can drag this picture, this image, going to your canvas. Ayan. So, it will be named as layer 3. Ano? So, si layer 3, nasa gitna ni layer 1 and layer 2. Ano? So, kung nasa gitna siya, nasa ibabaw si layer 1, which is our red square, nasa ilalim si blue square, nasa gitna siya ngayon. Okay? So, that is how layers works. Ano? Now, looking at our example, you can also adjust your opacity. So, ano ba yung opacity? The opaqueness of your layer. So, 100% opacity meaning wala siyang transparency. 0% opacity, 100% transparency. Okay? So, 50% opacity will be 50% transparency on your image or on your layer. Ano? Ayan. So, transparent na siya 50%. Okay? Ayan. And also, ano pa ba? So, that is the basics of layers. Ano? So, kung may mga nilalagay ka dyan ng mga layers, so for example, I delete these 3 layers. I'll open another image. Let's say this one. Ano, I'll drag this over to our canvas. Ayan. And then, let me open another image. This one. Okay. I'll drag this also to my canvas. Ayan. You can also have the option on how your canvas or your layer will be blended to your other layers using this option. Ano. So, mamaya, madidiscuss natin yan kung ano ba yung sinasabi natin na options na yan. Okay? Mamaya, pagdating natin doon sa effects. Okay? So, basically, that is how layers works. Ano? So, kung ano yung nasa ibabaw, yun yung makikita. Kung ano yung nasa ilalim, will be near your background. Okay? Sige. Now, to proceed, yan. Let us now discuss about tools. Ano ba yung mga tools sa Photoshop? So, these are the tools. Normally located siya sa left side ng ating window. Pero, other editors, nililipat siya. Depende naman sa editor kung saan mo siya gustong ilagay. So, basically, nasa left side siya. So, what are the parts of our tools? Actually, napakadaming tools. Ano? We will not be discussing individual tools. However, instead we'll be discussing groups of tools. Ano? So, let me start with the tools for moving and selecting parts of your images. Okay? So, 4 yan. Move tool, marquee tool, lasso tool, and this one, crop tool. Okay? So, para saan siya? Ano? So, balik tayo sa Photoshop. Okay? So, yung move tool, yung pinakataas, is used to move your layers. Ano? Kung gusto mong i-move yung layer, ginagamit mo siya para i-rearrange, i-relocate yung mga layers mo on your canvas. Ano? So, you are actually selecting your layer. Okay? Yung isa naman, which is your marquee tool, is used to create selection. Let's say, for example, I'll be opening another image. This one. This is a door. Ano? So, ang gusto kong gawin is buksan yung door. So, when you say buksan yung door, ang mangyayari is mabubutas siya at makikita natin yung nasa likod na layer. Correct? Kasi nasa likod na layer yung layer 1 natin. Ito yung layer ng door. Ano? So, I want to use this marquee tool to create a selection. Okay? So, as you can see, nag-create ako ng rectangular selection, and kung mapapansin nyo, meron siyang anong tawag dito? Marching ants. Ano? So, anything that is inside that selection, this is actually our selection. Yung marching arts natin is our selection. Anything that is inside the selection will be open for modification. Okay? So, what I want to do is to delete this selection para makita natin yung nasa likod. So, ito na yung ginagawa natin. Nag-create tayo ng selection. I can actually move this door papunta dun sa gilid. But take note, this is still one layer. Still one layer. So, what will I be doing is to delete the selection. Ayun. So, nawala na. We actually deleted what is inside the selection. Okay? And I'll deselect. Ayan. So, nabutas na siya. Okay? When you move this layer, ayan. Wala na yung door natin na dating nandiyan. Because we created a selection tool and then we deleted that selection. So, yun yung purpose nitong selection tool natin. To create a selection and then do whatever you want to do with the selection. You can change the color, you can delete it, you can copy it, you can paste it, etc. Okay? Next naman, we have your crop and slice tools. Actually, hindi ko na ito di-discuss because this is the same cropping tools that you can use on your Microsoft Word. So, when you crop on your Microsoft Word, anything that is cropped will be deleted. Kung ano yun na natira, yun na lang yung makikita natin. So, the same lang naman siya with Microsoft Word. So, hindi ko na siya i-demonstrate. Okay? The same with slice tools. And slice tools is also used for creating subparts of your images. Okay? So, we also have measurement tools wherein hindi naman siya masyadong ginagamit. Rarely ginagamit yung ating measurement tools. Pero ang maganda ditong i-discuss is the so-called retouching and painting tools. So, ano ba yung retouching and painting tools? Okay, ano ba yung mga nandito na mga tools natin? We have the healing brush. You have your brush. You have your clone stamp. You have your history brush. You have your eraser. You also have your gradient. And you also have your for blur and for sharpening. And the last one is to desaturate and saturate your image. So, punta tayo dun sa ating example. Kasi dito na lang natin makikita kung ano yung ginagawa nila. Okay? So, unahin natin yung brush tool. Yung brush tool is used to create a what do you call this one? Parang magpipinta ka to paint on your canvas. Okay? So, paano siya ginagamit? Click your brush tool. On the top of your Photoshop, you can adjust kung ano yung gusto mo na na mga options. Say for example, smoothing. Pag 100% smooth, ganito yung itsura niya. Meaning solid yung magigawa mong brush. Let's say 30%, magkakaroon siya ngayon ng hardness. Yan. Makakaroon siya ngayon ng feather sa palibot. Mag-right click ka lang, you can change the size of your brush. Yan. Teka lang. Let me undo that one. Create lang ako ng new layer. Okay? So, hardness, 100% solid. Pag binaba mo yung hardness, it will create feather. Ang tawag natin dyan is feather or fading parts of your design or your brush. You can also adjust the size, nasabi ko na kanina, and you can actually choose some special brushes. Mga brushes kasi na special, such as ano ba yung mga nandito na pwede natin magamit? Sige, hanapin natin. General brushes. Ayan. So, special effects brushes. Bawa ito, it will create parang splatter. Parang splatter ng paint doon sa ating canvas. So, magandang gamitin yung brushes kapag gusto mo magpinta or to add something on your canvas na parang brush. Okay? And also, kung kanina color blue siya, you can also change that color. Click nyo lang yung color picker na nandito. Okay? Hanap kayo ng ibang kulay. Say for example, green. Ayan. So, pag nag-brush ka, green na yung lalabas. Okay? To undo, just press Ctrl Z. Okay na yan. Mag-a-undo na siya. So, actually, the same lang siya with your Microsoft and other application. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, copy, paste. Okay? Another one is the so-called eraser. So, say for example, gumawa ka ng isang malaking blob sa paint and you want to erase part on the middle. So, you click your eraser and then you adjust your size. You can also adjust your hardness and then erase. So, you are actually erasing a part of your layer. Kung mapapansin nyo dito sa layer palette natin, butas na yung layer 4, which is the green blob. Butas na siya. Okay? So, pwede ka mag-erase. Ayan, ayan. And this is a step na destructive. So, wag kayong masyadong mag-erase kasi to inform you for everyone's information, limited yung undo ng Photoshop. So, kapag nagkamali ka, pwedeng hindi na maibalik yung pagkakamali mo. Okay? Now, let me show you naman this one. This is actually the so-called, ano bang tawag dito? The smudge, the blur tool. So, tingnan natin kung ano yung ginagawa ng blur tool. Looking at the face of this lady, pag pig-blur mo siya, literally, it will be blurred. Blurred talaga siya. Okay? So, if you want your image to be a bokeh effect, alam niyo yung bokeh? Yung parang blurred yung likod. You can use this tool, blur tool, para i-blur yung likod. Though this image has already blurred. Blurred na yung likod niya. Okay? You can also use dodge tool, pampaputi, pampaitim. So, kung gusto nyong pumuti, you can use this one. Okay, so as you can see, pumuputi yung kamay niya. Paputiin natin ng konti yung kanyang cheeks. Ayan. So, hindi mo na kailangan si Belo. You can use this tool para mapaputi yung parts ng layer mo. Just see to it na naka-press yung layer mo or naka-select yung layer mo. Okay? So, ayan. Pumuputi siya. And kung overexposed naman, you can right-click your dodge tool and then you can use burn tool. Now, burn tool is the reverse. Nag-burn siya nung pixels mo, meaning, pag pig-burn mo yung pixels mo, it will be darker, so mas maitim yung kakalabasan. Okay? So, I want to darker the bird of this guy, yung kanyang balbas. Ayan, pwede. Yung buhok niya, pwede natin i-darken. Ayan. Okay? So, those are some of the, kaya siya tinawag na retouching and painting tools. You are retouching and then you can paint on your image, on your canvas. Next, we have drawing and type tools. So, normally, ang ginagamit natin dito is yung drawing tool natin, yung type tool natin. So, say for example, this is a family. So, I would like to write something, this Adam's family. Say for example, Adam's family. So, I'll click my type tool. Gagawa lang ako ng box. And then, I'll type Adam's family. Ayan. So, sa taas, makikita nyo yung lahat ng options na pwede nyong gawin on your text. Pwede nyong palitan ng color, pwede nyong palitan ng font type. So, for example, this one. You can increase the size, which is almost the same with your Microsoft and other application or word processing application. Okay? Ayan. So, magkakapaglagay ka ng mga text dyan. Okay? Next, we have our navigation tools. So, paano ginagamit yung navigation? Gusto nyo mag-zoom in and zoom out? Click nyo lang ito. Okay? So, zoom in. Ayan. And then, click nyo yung minus sign sa taas. Zoom out naman siya. Okay? Also, kapag naka-zoom in ka, and then you would like to go to a certain part of your image, you use hand tool to drag around your canvas. Actually, yung in-edit mo dito or yung dinadrag mo is your entire canvas. Ano? Yung canvas mo. So, hindi yung layer kasi move tool yung gagamitin natin for that. Okay? So, yan. So, those are the tools na normally ginagamit natin in our editing. Ano? You can explore other tools na nandito. Ano? Kung may makita kayo sa baba na parang drop down, you can right click and you'll see na marami pa siya mga options. Okay? Sige. Now, let us go to effects. Ano? Ito yung medyo exciting part ng discussion natin. Paano mag-enhance ng mga parts ng ating image or yung image mismo. So, ano ba yung mga pwede natin gawin? Okay? The main effect na gusto kong ituro sa inyo is the so-called HDR toning. Okay? Now, ano ba yung tinatawag na HDR toning? So, when you say HDR toning, that is what you call high dynamic range. Ano? When you do photography, nag-picture ka, kumuha ka ng images with your camera, your DSLR, your phone, there is this range na hindi kayang kunin, hindi kayang i-capture ng mga devices na yan. What we usually do is to take different pictures, may low exposure, meaning yung madilim, may just right exposure, and then may high exposure na maputi. And then we actually combine those images to create a dynamic range of image, a result, a new image na pinagpatong-patong na yan. You know? Pero with HDR toning ang Photoshop, hindi mo na kailangan yon. What you actually need is a photo and your Photoshop application. Okay? So, sige, puntahan natin yung HDR toning. You just go to image. Okay? You go to image and then you click adjustment and you click HDR toning. Now, your HDR toning will give you this floating dialog box, and what I want you to do is to explore it. There is no such thing as paano ba ito mapapaganda? Paano mapapaganda yung picture ko? Paano mapapaganda yung image ko? Well, actually, yung word na nagpapaganda is basically depende sa tumitingin. So I will not say na ito ganin dagdagan mo, ito bawasan mo. It actually depends on you kung paano yung kagandahan or paano yung, or ano ang gusto mong output doon sa image mo. Actually, there are presets na nandito. Yan, pwede kayong gumamit ng mga presets. Okay? Black and white na artistic, monochromatic na low contrast, etc. Or you can go with the sliders, you play with your sliders para malaman mo, ito pala yung maganda. So, you drag your sliders, say for example, edge glow. Ayan, gusto kong tagdagan yung edge glow. Ito yung original, ito yung isa. Ayan. You can also add gamma. Ayan. So, lightness, darkness din. Exposure, the same. I want it a little underexposed. And then, I want high detail on this image. So, on detail, dadagdagan ko siya ng ganyan. So, ito yung original, ito yung high detail. So, kung mapapansin nyo, very detailed na siya. Okay? So, I'll decrease the gamma. Ayan. And also, there are this word, shadows. Shadows are the darkest part of your image. Highlights are the largest part, are the brightest part of your image. So, when you increase the shadow, you're actually decreasing the darkness of your image. So, kung mapapansin nyo, yung nasa ilalim ng dahon, ito yung 0%, 0% shadow. Pag in-increase ko, mas nagiging light siya. Yung light naman, yung highlight naman, pwede kong i-decrease, which gives this effect na yung mga light parts, the lightest part of your image will be softened, or it will be lesser highlights, lesser lights, parang darken din na nangyayari. Okay? Ayan. Pero specific kasi kapag edit mo yung highlights, ang maaapektuhan niya yung mga lightest part. Pag edit mo naman yung shadows, yung mga darkest part ang maaapektuhan. You can also adjust the vibrance. Actually, this affects the color. Yan. Ito yung original. Ito yung high vibrance. The same with saturation. Ano? Ayan. Saturation means the intensity of your color. Ayan. So, okay. I-adjust lang natin ng konti. Ano? Okay. And then, ano pa ba? This is edge glow. Sobra na. I'll take this one and I'll adjust the highlights, lower highlights. Ayan. So, say for example, ito na yung gusto ko. I'll just press OK. And then, yan na. Your final output. Ano yung pinanggalingan niya? Ito yung kanina. Ito yung ngayon. Ano? I want it to be more detailed. Ito yung kanina. Ito yung ngayon. Ano? So, you can actually use this HDR toning to enhance your images. Open pa tayo ng isa. So, for example, a landscape like this one. Yan, medyo hindi siya masyadong exposed. I mean, medyo patay yung kulay niya. So, you go to image, you do adjustment, HDR toning, and then, I'll decrease the gamma. I'll increase exposure a little bit. I'll add more detail. Ayan, kung mapapansin nyo, nakakaroon na siya ng much greater detail. And then, I'll decrease the highlights. I'll increase the shadow. Ayan. And yung vibrance na i-increase ko din para mas maganda yung kulay niya. The same with saturation. So, over na ata. Ayan. Edge glow. Ayan. Okay. Press OK. This is before. This is after. Ayan. So, mapapaganda niya yung image mo. Again, mapapaganda niya. Depende kung ano yung definition nyo, kung ano yung maganda. Okay? Sige. So, another effect na gusto kong ituro sa inyo is the so-called blend modes. Ano? So, ibalik ko yung family kanina. And, ibabalik ko yung picture na ito. Ano? Ayan. So, family. Now, what I want to do is, i-blend ko yung layer na to, ano, dun sa likod. Ayan. So, I'll change this to darken. Ayan. Ito na yung kalalabasan niya. Ano? Okay? So, yan. Ano? Pwede kayong i-explore nyo na lang yung mga nandito na effects. Ayan. Kung ano yung kagustuhan nyo. Ano? Ayan. And last na gusto kong ituro sa inyo is your filter gallery. Ano? So, click mo na yung filter gallery and then you click kung ano yung gusto nyo mga effects na nandito. Ayan. So, iba-iba yung mga effects. Gusto nyo maging artistic, etc. Ayan. Okay? So, explore nyo na lang yung mga nandyan. Okay? Sige. So, lastly, ano, I would like to end with this line. Photoshop is a tool for image editing and design. Meaning, it is just a tool, hindi siya yung gagawa. Kayo pa din yung gagawa. Ano? And then, yun lang. So, thank you very much for listening. I hope na yung ilang minutes na discuss natin is meron kayong natutunan. And yun lang. These are your credits. These are your sources of images. So, to everyone, thank you.